Liam. It's so good to see you again.
Great to see you too, Emma. You look like something's been on your mind today.
You know me too well. Can I ask you something I've always wondered about? I was actually invited to an American baseball game this upcoming weekend, and to be completely honest, I'm secretly terrified.
Terrified? Of a baseball game? Come on, Emma. It's just popcorn, sunshine, and a game. What's making you so nervous?
Every time I watch a game, the players don't confuse me, the fans do. Everyone suddenly cheers or laughs in unison, knowing exactly what just happened. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there completely frozen, thinking, did I miss something? It makes me feel so isolated.
Emma, that's the main reason learners lose confidence in real life. They try to analyze the rules in their head instead of reading the human energy around them.
But how can reading people help me with my English? Isn't the goal to understand every single word the announcer and the crowd are saying?
Absolutely not. Here's today's biggest secret that textbook English never teaches you. If you want to understand natural spoken English in high-energy crowds, stop watching the scoreboard and start watching the people. If you can read the crowd, your brain will unlock the language 10 times faster.
Wait, read the crowd? How does that actually work in practice?
Think about it. When people suddenly stand up, groan, or burst out laughing, your brain instantly understands the mood. You don't need to translate a single word to know what just happened.
Wow, I've never looked at it that way. I'm usually so stressed out trying to translate what the stadium announcer is screaming through the loudspeakers.
Exactly. That's why today's lesson is different. Forget complex rules. I'm showing you how to feel relaxed in a classic American experience. Plus, I'll share one psychological habit that'll change how you absorb English forever.
Now I'm really curious. So if I actually go to that baseball game this weekend, where do I start? Should I sit down at home tonight and memorize a huge list of sports terms?
Not at all. In fact, I forbid you to do that. You enjoy the experience first, and then the vocabulary naturally sticks to your memory.
Okay. But if I'm not staring at the scoreboard or searching my phone for sports definitions, what should I actually pay attention to?
Let me show you how changing your focus changes everything. Imagine you're sitting in the stadium right now. The sun is shining, you have a drink in your hand, and suddenly, everyone in your section starts clapping loudly. You missed the actual play on the field. What do?
I guess I just start clapping too.
Exactly. A few minutes later, everyone around you laughs at something funny on the giant screen, so you smile. Someone catches a foul ball in the stands 3 rows ahead of you, everyone jumps to their feet, and you naturally do the same.
So the crowd is actually giving me a real-time visual script on how to react.
Precisely. Nobody expects you to know every single tradition or rule on day one. Most Americans actually learned the exact same way by watching everyone else and joining in on the energy.
That's actually such a massive relief, Liam. I always imagined I'd be the only person sitting in the row looking completely lost and out of place.
Believe it or not, millions of Americans feel the exact same way the first time they attend a sport they don't regularly follow. But here's the secret trick. When you stop acting like a spectator judging your own grammar and start being an active participant in the crowd's energy, all that social anxiety disappears.
That makes sense. But Liam, what about when people actually try to talk to me? What if the person sitting right next to me turns around and asks me a complicated question about the pitcher or the team's strategy?
That's the beauty of American sports culture, Emma. Stadium conversations are short, friendly, and extremely low pressure. Nobody's going to audit your sports knowledge or ask you for a deep statistical analysis of the game. They'll turn to you and say simple things like, "Great weather today, huh?" Or, "First time at the stadium."
Wait, those aren't even sports phrases. Those are just basic, friendly, everyday expressions.
Exactly. A baseball game in America is actually 10% about the sport and 90% about the social experience. People are eating hot dogs, chatting about their weekend plans, laughing with friends, and enjoying the outdoors. You don't need complex sports jargon to connect. You just need to be present.
You know what's really interesting, Liam? Even when I don't understand the exact words someone is shouting, I can usually tell if people are happy, surprised, or disappointed just by the tone of their voice.
That's because human emotions are universal, Emma. Your brain recognizes pitch, volume, and emotion almost instantly. Imagine sitting in a stadium and hearing 40,000 people suddenly scream in unison, "Yeah!" Do you really need a dictionary or a grammar book to tell you that something great just happened?
Not at all. I already know. But, Liam, did you ever feel completely lost or overwhelmed at a sports event when you were younger?
Absolutely. The very first time I went to a major game, I spent the first 20 minutes glued to the field, trying desperately to analyze every rule, every referee signal, and every single stadium announcement. By the end of those 20 minutes, my brain was completely exhausted. I had a massive headache.
That's exactly how I feel when I try too hard in English. Can I admit something else that scares me?
Always. What is it?
Whenever I imagine people chatting at a baseball game, I picture them using rapid-fire, complex sports vocabulary, technical terms I've never heard in my life.
That's a super common myth. Let's debunk that right now. Imagine we're sitting together in the stands right now. Our team is about to score a point. What do you think people around us are actually screaming? You won't hear complex sentences. You'll hear super simple phrases like, "Let's go," or "Come on," or "Nice catch."
Wait, I already know every single one of those phrases.
Exactly. The English isn't difficult or advanced. It's just happening in a loud, unfamiliar environment. And if you listen to the conversations around you in the food line or between innings, people are saying things like, "Do you want another hot dog?" or "I'll go grab us some drinks."
Those don't even sound like sports conversations at all.
Precisely. A baseball game is just a giant social gathering. People spend 3 hours catching up with family, talking about work, planning vacations, so you never need to worry about not knowing enough sports words to fit in.
I never thought about it that way. Liam, you keep saying today's lesson isn't really about baseball, and I'm really starting to understand what you mean now.
Good. Because the biggest language breakthrough doesn't happen when you memorize a textbook. It happens when you stop trying so hard and just let yourself be present in the moment.
Can I ask you, what was your absolute favorite part of that first game once you've relaxed?
Honestly, it wasn't a home run. It wasn't some incredible play on the field. It was watching complete strangers turn around, high-five each other, and celebrate together like old friends.
I love that so much, even if you don't know a single person sitting around you.
Exactly. That's a unique part of American sports culture. People naturally include everyone around them. If your team scores, the person next to you might smile, high-five you, and say, "That was awesome," even if you've never met before in your life.
That actually makes the stadium feel like a friendly place instead of a scary test. But Liam, what about the noise? Stadiums are so loud and people speak so fast. Half the time, I can't even separate individual words from the ambient background sound.
That's a massive hurdle for every learner, Emma. When you're in a noisy environment, your brain naturally panics and tries to process every single sound wave equally. But native speakers don't actually hear every word either. We filter out 80% of the ambient noise and rely on context and rhythm.
So you're not actually processing every single person shouting or every word from the loudspeakers.
Not even close. In fast-paced, noisy environments, language comes in what I call microbursts. A quick "watch out," a high five, or someone asking, "Is the seat taken?" You don't need full complex sentences to participate.
That makes so much sense. I've been overworking my brain trying to hear a quiet classroom dialogue in the middle of a massive, roaring stadium.
Spot on! Body language and short core phrases do 90% of the work. If someone accidentally bumps into you or spills a bit of popcorn, they won't give a formal speech. They'll just make a face, say, "Oops, my bad," and you smile and say, "No worries." Boom. You just had 100% natural, successful interaction with a native speaker.
My bad and no worries. Two simple phrases, zero grammar stress, and a real social connection is made.
Exactly. When you stop treating real-world experiences like a grammar exam, the anxiety vanishes. After any real-life event, stop asking yourself, what new vocabulary words did I memorize today? Instead, start asking, what situation did I just experience?
Because our brains are hardwired to remember experiences, not isolated lists of words.
You nailed it. Once you anchor the language to a real memory, like eating a hot dog, hearing the crowd cheer, and feeling the energy, the English stays with you naturally forever. Don't collect words, collect experiences.
I love that rule so much. And to everyone watching right now, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever been to an American sports game? Or is there one you've always dreamed of attending?
Drop your answers in the comments below. We read every single one. And here's your personal trend for this week. Next time you watch a movie or listen to English in a noisy scene, don't try to translate every word. First, pause and ask yourself, what's the energy of this situation right now?
You'll be amazed at how much you actually understand without a dictionary. But Liam, I have to ask, if reading the situation works in a baseball stadium, does this strategy really hold up in a place as extreme as New York City?
Oh, Emma, it doesn't just hold up. It's the only way to survive. If you think a stadium is intense, Times Square is that energy multiplied by 1,000. Bright lights flashing, people rushing past you talking at lightning speed, taxis honking, and street performers yelling, it's sensory overload.
Wow. Most English learners would completely freeze or panic in a sensory overload like that.
Exactly. They'd try to process every single sound and end up paralyzed. But in our next lesson, we're taking this exact same framework and taking it to the streets of Manhattan. I'm going to show you 3 unwritten social codes that native New Yorkers use every day to filter out the chaos and communicate effortlessly.
Wait, so if I master these street toads, I won't just survive New York, I can actually feel like a local?
Not just feel like a local, you'll unlock a level of confidence you never thought you had. Once you see how this technique breaks down the wildest city in the world, you'll realize you can speak English anywhere without fear.
I am so ready for this. This isn't just about learning English anymore. This is about becoming unstoppable.
That's the spirit. Don't let your momentum stop here. Click the video on your screen right now to step straight into Times Square with us and unlock your next level of fluency.
See you right there in the heart of New York City. Click now and let's go.
Bye.